Deuteronomy 28:15.
Yeah, that's the one about the
Bring it out, so.
Yeah.
So why would he read that to you? Let's see. Because you know who Moses was, right?
Yeah.
Who did Moses bring out of Egypt? The children of Israel, right? Who is this Bible for?
For all of them.
It's for the children of Israel. Listen to this. Read verse chapter 28, verse 1. Or excuse me, 1 and 1.
The book of Deuteronomy.
My man right here. What's your name? Huh? Tony? Tony, meet Ken. Ken, meet Tony. What we doing is we teach your history. You know anything about history, Tony?
I gotta go. I got a headache, man.
All right, you got a headache. All right. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
To who?
All Israel.
To who?
All Israel.
Who are the Israelites? Who's Israel today? Psalms 147, verse 19.
Who's Israel today?
Who's Israel today?
All of us.
Who's all of us?
Every little soul that's on this earth.
No. Because, think about it. At the time that Moses was around, there was a whole other nation that was oppressing them, correct?
Right.
The Egyptians. Were they the children of Israel?
Bring it out. Bring it out.
What about the Moabites? Read about them in the scriptures. Are they part of the children of Israel?
I don't really know.
No. The Edomites, the Ishmaelites, all of them, they do not come from the tribes of the children of Israel. That's why we have this sign right here.
Right.
This sign is to identify, it's to show you, but we get it from the Bible. You understand? The so-called blacks, the so-called Hispanics, and the so-called Native Americans. Those are the ones that this book is for.
That's right.
Not for everybody else.
Right.
God doesn't love everybody. God's not dealing with everybody.
Right.
God's only dealing with you. He's only dealing with us, our people. You understand? So, read it again. Excuse me, read verse.
Excuse me, bro. Now cutting you off on that.
Okay, go ahead.
Now you said that God not love everybody.
He don't love everybody. You want me to prove it? Because I can prove it. Everything we're going to read about is in the scriptures.
Well, I thought God is love.
Who does he love, though? He love everybody? Or does he love just a certain nation of people? Let's see. Romans.
Oh, now
The book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse 13. As it is written.
So, when you read in the New Testament, as it is written, that means it was written in the Old Testament. Okay. As it is written, in this case, it's the book of Malachi. As it is written in Malachi, read.
Jacob have I loved.
Who is Jacob?
Who was Jacob?
Who was Jacob?
Jacob was the first father of the nation.
Of what nation? Of Israel. You're right. You're right on point. Right. So it says, Jacob have I what?
Jacob have I loved.
So did it say everybody right there? But guess what? There's more. Read.
But Esau.
Who?
But Esau.
Who was Esau?
Esau was that wasn't Jacob's.
It was Jacob's twin brother. Yes, it was. When you read Romans 9, it talks the whole way through about how God loved Jacob and hated Esau. The whole thing's talking about that. So now, when it says it's in not to mention, Esau is what you know as the so-called white man today. Esau is the so-called white man. So let's see how God feels about the so-called white man. Read.
As it is written. Jacob have I loved.
The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the children of Israel. Those are who Jacob is talking about. It's not talking about one person. It's talking about a whole nation of people. Read.
But Esau.
Who?
But Esau have I hated.
What?
Have I hated.
God wrote that. Not only when Paul wrote it, but in Malachi when it was written.
That's right.
So God hates who? Who does he hate? Read.
But Esau have I hated.
Who does he hate? Esau. Let's see how he feels about the other nations. Isaiah chapter 40 verse 15. Because he's not dealing, like I told you already, he's not dealing with everybody. He's dealing with us, our people. That's why this book is so special. That's why they don't teach you the truth about it. Because they teach you a good song and dance.
Bring it up.
They teach you God loves everybody. Kumbaya. He gonna come back with tambourines on a rainbow and all that. No. No. What God is saying through and through, from cover to cover, from Genesis to Revelation, is he's saying he's only dealing with one nation of people. That's it. Read.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 15. Behold, the nation,
the other nations, the Ishmaelites, the so-called Arabs, the Africans, the real Africans, because we're not African. We're Israelites. We're different. Okay? The Chinese man.
Right.
the white man, those nations, how does he feel about them?
The nations are as a drop of a bucket.
So when you got a bucket, let's say you got a 5-gallon bucket you carry, and you put a small drop into that, does that matter? Is that going to change anything about the bucket, about the water that's already in there? It doesn't mean nothing. Let's see. It says, so the nations are as a drop in a bucket. Read.
And are counted as the small dust of the balance.
A balance is like a scale, right? When you drop dust on the scale, is it going to register?
Bring it out.
No. So it's saying, let's say you got a scale at home, right? You put dust on that. What's it going to read? How many pounds? 0 pounds, right?
That's right.
That means the dust is the equivalent to the nations.
Right.
It equals 0.
Right.
Nothing. Read.
Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing. And Lebanon is not sufficient to burn, nor the beast thereof sufficient for a burnt offering. All nations.
How many nations?
All nations.
Some nations.
All nations.
Just the nations that God really don't care for.
All nations.
All the nations besides the nation of Israel. What do they mean to God? Read.
Before him are as nothing.
As what?
Are as nothing.
Are as nothing to God.
That's right.
That's what that's Bible.
Right.
We're not giving you our words, right? I didn't write this book. You didn't write this book. This book been around way before me and you. That's right. But it says, read it again.
Yes, sir. All nations before him are as nothing.
Nothing. Read.
And they are counted to him less than nothing.
Less than nothing. Less than nothing. Wow. What's less than nothing?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Right.
But guess what? That means he holds you in high esteem.
That's right.
Because if all the nations are as nothing to him, we have an elevated position in this earth, right? Let me get Revelation chapter 1 and verse 5. Revelation chapter 1 and verse 5. Because we have to understand our importance to God. And we're going to get it in the Bible. Read that thing?
Yes, sir. The book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 5.
Verse 6.
Verse 6. And have made us kings and priests.
So he said our people are going to be known as kings and priests.
That's right.
Not the other nations.
Right.
Kings and priests, read.
Unto God.
Unto who?
Unto God.
That's how God feels about the nation of Israel.
Right.
He sees us as kings and as priests. That's heavy. That's a high calling. That's right. So with that high calling, what do you have to do? What do you have to do with that high calling?
Bring it out.
Deuteronomy 10 and 12.
Bring it out.
Because do you get something for nothing? Can you get the kingdom of heaven without putting any work towards getting
Bring
there?
it up.
Faith without works is dead.
That's right.
So what's the works?
Bring it out.
What's the works? And let me get Exodus 18:20 first.
Bring it out.
And then we're going to jump to Deuteronomy 10 and 12. What's the works?
Bring it out.
Because we hear that in the Christian church all the time. That's one of their favorite things to say. But they don't explain the works. Because what they tell you to do is laws done away with. God loves everybody. Jesus is white.
Right.
But Jesus is really black.
That's right.
But let's see what the works is. It's written about in the Old Testament. Read.
The book of Exodus, chapter 18 and verse 20. And thou shalt teach them ordinances. And laws.
And what?
And laws.
Where do we find the laws of God? In the Bible. The first 5 books of Moses are casually known in the New Testament typically as what? The law. The law. The law. Not just sacrificial law, because that was the only law that was done away with. We still got to keep all the other sections of the law, right? There's the civil law, there's the moral law, there's the dietary law, there's the sacrificial law, right? And then there's a ceremonial law, dietary, right? All of those things we still got to keep, because when you go into a Christian church, what they gonna tell you? Pay your tithes and offerings. Where do you find tithes and offerings in the Bible? Where is that law?
It's in the book of Malachi.
That's what they tell you, right? To rob you.
Yeah.
Because what they're not telling you is where the law is located.
That's right.
If they said the law is done away with, tithing was an Old Testament law.
That's right.
So if the law is done away with somehow, now you paying your tithes and offerings on Sunday, what does that mean?
Bring it out.
That means the law really ain't done away with. You understand that thing? Let's get that. Let's get that. Exodus. Let's show them the work. Let's show them the work. Let's finish off the work. Read.
And thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws, and shalt show them the way wherein they must walk in the work.
What does it call it?
In the work.
And the work. So those laws and ordinances are the work of God.
That's
Faith
right.
without the laws of God is dead.
Right.
He says, show me your faith by your works. Show me your faith by keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments.
Used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. Iuic has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road. Purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. Iuic, we deliver the truth.